Hi everyone, a little bit different. We're doing a little bonus small one in the week because I wanted to show you how you can make the jersey shorts into loungewear, long trousers. So these are mine and we're on about year 4 wearing these. They're one of my most favourite things to wear. They're in a soft viscose jersey. And all I've done is extended the leg from the shorts pattern that I showed you. Now, can you make this in a warmer fabric because you might be in winter? Yes, you can. In fact, these are the ones that I made this year for my winter, apart from the 2 months where it's too cold. So these are, they won't look like very much because they're straight out of my screwed up cupboard. But they're very, very, very comfortable. These are out of a cotton, what do you call it? French terry cotton. Okay, so it's not brushed on the inside. It's got, let me come towards the camera. So this kind of unbrushed French terry. That's my hem, blind hem on the overlocker. So these were my winter weight ones. Now that's the back, that's the front. I'll show you what they look like at the end. So yes, you can make loungewear for your climate. One caution about maybe really thick or heavy fabric, because of the design of these soft jersey shorts, it does have this dropped crotch. Incredibly breezy, incredibly comfortable. They're a dream to wear, but I can imagine that in a thick fabric from a sensory perspective, if you're at all sensitive to that, they might feel a bit like it's a bit nappy. Okay, so just think about that. And of course you will need to take in the factor of the weight, because now they're long, and how you're going to treat your tummy. So if you're using a very soft waistband, this is the soft jersey waistband, both of them are wearing, you're doing that because that's what I wear. So soft and kind, my tummy can blow up, it can shrink, it will never be irritated by this. I've got secret elastic here. It's a very tiny little amount. I don't know if you can hear that. My microphone might not pick up the ping on my elastic. So that's a safe spot around at the high hip for me with my pain issues. I can hold up my pants with that. If it's a heavy fabric, you're going to have a wider elastic probably. You may not get away if it's a super heavy fabric with holding your pants up. So just factor that in. And with my sensory issues, I don't wear heavy fabrics anyway. I have to have things lightweight. So you can get warmth with light fabrics. You might want to try a flannel. Well, no, that's not a stretch. You do want stretch for these. So you probably want to having a stretch wool fabric. If you can get a mix of fibers like a poly wool blend in a stretch, Bob's your uncle, you're going to be very warm and very toasty and very, very comfortable. All right, let's get on to the pattern because I want to show you how you can lengthen the legs. And from my perspective also, I just cut these on the material. I just went down on the ruler on the material. I did the same with those ones. And I need to sort of do a bit of admin, catch up my patterns. So I have the pattern there ready to go for next time instead of just cutting on my material. All right, let's do that. Okay, ready to go. So this is my pattern. I keep all my patterns just neatly folded and in files. And what I have done is I've already done my measuring. So it says plus 70 centimeters for full length pants, not including the hem. All right, well that's pretty normal for me. I don't put seam allowances into my patterns or hem allowances. If it's you, go and measure your length that you want. You could do it from the hem of your jersey shorts and just measure it down to the ankle. Do that hopefully with someone to hold the tape measure so that you can stand tall. If you don't have someone to do that for you, then you'll just make do with what you can, and then you'll fix this up once you've made your trousers, pants, loungewear, what do you want to talk about, whatever you want to call them, and you can adjust your pattern once you've made it up. So let's do this. Let's go with the back. First of all, now I do tuck that bit out the way. Let's hope I've got 70 centimetres on my I do. I can fit that on. Okay, so we really should start by tracing this out. That's easy enough. If I can actually see what I'm doing. First time I've ever made a, film this live without planning on doing editing. So as I said, I just want it to be a quick little video. I don't have much time, but I think it's important that I know a lot of you guys are not in my climate. And so you won't necessarily be making shorts. I don't know, do you guys like, would you wear a pair of shorts for PJs at night time? When I was in England, I lived there for a few years, I can't even remember. It was, it's a bit 20 years ago. Yeah, I can't remember because of central heating. Maybe you guys do wear shorty pajamas to bed. I don't know. But anyway, let's get you out. Long pants so you can have some lovely long loungewear for your climate. Okay, so it's this one. I just made an oopsie there. It's my outer one. Now, the thing with making longer trouser legs onto a shorter thing is that we have to respect the shape. We're not going to change the shape, so we're not going to be doing like a into the knee and then flare out like a bootleg. Yeah, we're not just going to do anything like that, because that shape, that type of trouser wouldn't have this type of crutch. The design doesn't go together. This is a long, very loose, very casual, breezy drop crotch pair of jersey shorts, and it has a nice straight line, so we're going to respect that, and that won't stuff up the crutch. We're just going to go down in a straight line by, let's make that straight. I can just see the grid under my ruler. .70 centimetres, and then hopefully you don't get too much of the cleaver to you. 70 centimetres, nice and straightios. And then we're just going to do the hem. That looks really strange. That doesn't look like that is going to meet that, does it? I think it's going to be fine because I have tried this out. I've tested it before. Let's just do straight hem. I don't like it though. We'll see. We'll true up. Just going to do a straight hem. If you wanted to do a curved hem, you could. So plus 70. Make sure I've measured. Okay. Let's just make sure that that's wrong piece. What am I doing here? Okay, back piece. Okay, so that does have a curve because of this crotch line. So I don't think I need that curve when it's long. I'm going to do a straight across. And I'm also going to just double check. I won't do it now because I'm doing this as a quick one, but I will double check and I'll tell you what my actual made up trousers look like, what that length is, okay? To make sure that this is all going to be fine, because I've already done them. I've already tried and tested this. I'm just updating lounge, if I can, lounge wear trousers. What is it? It's November. Is it? No, yep, November 25. Off baggy jersey shorts. Okay, so we did it plus 70 centimeters, just so I know. All right, that's it. Got to cut that out. And then we're going to do the front. All right, so this is the front little piece of shorts. I've traced around that, I've marked the edges. I know I need an extra 70. I just went down straight with my ruler, both sides, squeezed it in. It won't look particularly straight because that's curved, but I have made sure it is straight according to the grid lines. And then I had a little bit of discrepancy also with this, getting this straight. So this was a little bit longer than that, but only by a tiny, tiny amount. So I've done a straight across hem, and I'm just going to now double check with the front piece, crotch, and down to hem. So that's good. And then the side seam, join line of my waistband. Okay, that is a little longer there, so I'm actually going to observe the 70 centimeters, and I have not been unhappy with either of my pairs of trousers in sort of going, hey, my cuffs, my hems are uneven. So, oops. I'm going to do what the measurements say. All right, now it's time to cut this one out. Front. Lounge. Pants from baggy jersey shorts. Always label your patterns, not including hem. Okay, so give yourself all the instructions you need, so when you come back to this, you're ready to rock and roll, no issues. Okay, so the last little bit of pattern making is to true up the seams so that they are all the same distance. Now remember I said that my back piece, which is this piece, was a weird length on that hem, so I'm lining that up against my tested pants, and yeah, it is a little, that correction I did perhaps is not needed, so I'm going to put that in there. And when I trued it up against this, these seams are going together, so we walk those down and they're not meeting. So I can either add to this or I can shorten these. I think I might be shortening them, and I'll cut extra for the hem just to make sure that covered in case I do make a mistake next time I make them. Now, if you're at all unsure, do your best judgment, and then when you make them up, see that came out different again. Okay. We're getting closer. Make sure you really get your seam line against that pattern, because you really got to walk it through. You think you do it right and you've sort of just done it, oh yeah, that looks like it's lining up. But unless you walk it all the way on the actual seam line, I do apologize if my head's in the way, but I can't see otherwise. Yeah, that's my measurement. Let's see if that's getting anywhere. Let's do the same for the pattern pieces. We really will walk these through. I'm going to go with this one because that's what this one is, and I think we can deal with any little discrepancy. And let's do the same for this one. Let's hope this one's not so problematic. Oh, this one's just perfect. Okay, so this touring up, this happened very nicely. Just going to adjust this so that it's gone to there. Oops. Thick roller. Let's just do one more little test. So I think I'm going to, because I added here, because it wasn't falling out. I think I might glue a little bit on to this edge as well, just to sort of split the difference really. So both of those are meeting up. Be back in a second. Okay, so I have used my trusty sticky tape and just stuck on a little bit extra onto this front leg, just there for the side, and then I've trimmed off about the same amount here. So you can see it's now matching very nicely. So I'm happy with that hem. Let's just make sure that this hasn't changed. Yep, that's coming through perfectly there as well. All right, we are done. Pattern complete. It's going to go into my little file, and then I'll have no problems when I want to make another pair. I won't have to do the measuring directly on my fabric that I have been doing. So it's already ready to rock and roll for next time, which is something I wanted to tick off my to-do jobs. Okay, I did tell you that I was going to show you the winter weight ones, or the most of the year apart from 2 months of freezing weather. French terry cotton lounge pants. Okay, really nice and comfy. A lot heavier than those drapey viscose ones. A little bit stiffer. Now just remember that after one wear and one wash, anything that you are feeling like the texture of the overlocking, which I often feel in my freshly made garments, that's all going to disappear. This is going to soften up, so it will just flow with you. You might feel it's a bit crisp at the beginning. It's all going to ease down. The one difference I've made in these pants is that I have put in, let me come forward, I've put in this flap. I call this a belt tube. Okay, and I will put the relevant video in the top right so that you can do that as well. That belt tube, it just sits on top, and I've put encased elastic in there, and that still very, very narrow, very, very narrow, different way of putting in elastic, and it keeps these perfectly up. Nothing falls down on me. Okay, so that's it. Enjoy your comfy life and enjoy some very, very, very comfy loungewear for your climate. I'll see you next week.